In this video, you will see a leading evangelical Christian spokesman repeat, almost word for word, everything that we, the Kahanists of the Jewish Task Force, JTF, have been saying for decades. The subject is the fact that there is no Palestine and there are no Palestinian people. Unfortunately, the irony is that our message has gotten a better reception from evangelical Christian Gentiles than from many of our own fellow Jews, even though it affects their very existence. The time is long overdue that the Jewish people stop being on the defensive and start unapologetically exposing the truth. This video also proves that if JTF ever became a mass movement in Israel, we would have the enthusiastic support of tens of millions of evangelical Christians in the United States and all around the world. The following video is proof of how JTF's message is the most effective from the standpoint of both historical fact and the public relations need to build support for Israel.
Well, President Obama just wrapped up a tour of the Middle East, which included his first visit as president to Israel. He met with Prime Minister Netanyahu, saw the sights, and of course, called for the establishment of a Palestinian state. The Palestinian people deserve a state, he said. Really? Why? What have the Palestinians done to deserve or earn a state other than unleash wave after wave of genocidal terrorism against Israel? First of all, the concept of a Palestinian people didn't even exist until the 1960s, when Yasser Arafat helped create one of history's greatest myths, that the Jewish people stormed ancient Palestine and forcibly evicted the defenseless Palestinians from a land that had been Arab from the dawn of time. It was even worse than the Holocaust. That's what pro-Palestinian rabble-rousers tell us, and the media and the so-called international community have swallowed the lie hook, line, and sinker. So is President Obama. Newsflash, Mr. President, I know that in your infamous Cairo speech in 2009, you basically suggested that the Jews were only in Israel today as a result of the Holocaust. I'm here to tell you that there has always been a Jewish presence in the land of Israel. Always. Even after the Romans destroyed the Second Temple in the year AD 70 and the majority of Jews were scattered to the ends of the earth, a Jewish remnant always remained in the land. By the 1880s, Jerusalem once again had a Jewish majority. Imagine that. Israel is the ancestral homeland of the Jewish people and has been for 4,000 years. Check the history books. Check the archaeological finds, and yes, check the Bible. 4,000 years. That's how long the Jews have been in the land of Israel. The Palestinians? Put it this way. Throughout history, can you name one, just one, Palestinian emperor, or king, or prime minister, or explorer, or a great Palestinian biblical figure? Maybe you're a Palestinian conqueror? Oh, I'm sorry. There are none, because there never was a Palestinian people in that land. Now, some Arabs did live there, absolutely, but there weren't a lot of them, and they never referred to themselves as Palestinians. As a matter of fact, before the Jews returned and resettled the land miraculously, Israel was pretty much a malaria-ridden wasteland, and not much of anyone lived there. Although there was that pesky Jewish presence, always. Now, once the Jews returned in large numbers around the turn of the 20th century and made the deserts bloom, like the Bible said they would, droves of Arabs from the surrounding countries magically showed up looking for work. The Jews kindly gave them work, and the Arabs stayed. More kept coming. All of this happened in the 20th century. It's a very recent phenomenon. The descendants of those Arabs today call themselves Palestinians. And by the way, Israel was only known as Palestine because the Roman Emperor Hadrian gave it that name in the 2nd century AD. Why did he give it that name? Well, in Latin, Palestine is translated Philistia, the Philistines. Remember them? The ancient biblical enemies of Israel? Hadrian renamed the land of Israel Palestine, or Philistia, on purpose, to insult the hated Jews and to blot out their memory, as if they never existed in that land. And that is what the so-called Palestinians would like to do to the Jews today. There you have it, Mr. President. Or maybe he could have asked poor, occupied, downtrodden Palestinians to put themselves in the shoes of Adva Batan. She's a 2-year-old Israeli girl who's currently in critical condition after she and her family were brutally attacked by a mob of rock-throwing Palestinians. It seems little Adva was guilty of being a Jew in the Jewish biblical heartland of Samaria. Funny, President Obama didn't mention Adva during his trip to Israel. Until next time, God bless you, and remember, never hold your peace.
We need your support. Join us at jtf.org.